What's going on, guys? My name is Mariano. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new, still welcome, because it's been almost 3 years since I posted last. Alright, so we're going to get right into this video. In the last video I made, we talked about Samsung Pay, and I thought at the time it was a really interesting service, which is why I decided to make my first YouTube video on it. Even though Samsung Pay did promise to work anywhere you could use your credit card to make a payment, we actually saw that it didn't quite work flawlessly at the time. So what I really wanted to do was make an update video. It's been about 3 years since that video was made, and 3 years in the tech world is such a long time. Services get updated, the hardware gets updated, and so now we have the latest and greatest Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus with the latest version of Samsung Pay. We're going to try to take it to as many places as possible and really see if in 2018 you can use Samsung Pay as a replacement for your wallet, basically. We're going to go to some gas stations, to some ATMs even, to some fast food restaurants. We're going to try to make payments in the drive-thru, and then we're also going to go to some popular convenience stores, and we're going to see really if you can reliably use Samsung Pay to replace your wallet. If you left your wallet at home, could you confidently take your phone to make payments with no worries? And without further ado, let's go ahead to those places. I'll see you out there.
Remember to grab your receipt. Thanks. See you again soon.
I'll pay with credit. Alright, so now we're going to try here at Walmart. This is one of the most popular stores. I definitely thought this would be a good place to go, so let's see if it works. Getting a light for the room, hopefully helps with recording.
Insert cash or select payment type.
Now there's no prompt for Apple Pay or anything like that, so we'll just try it to make sure. Alright, now let's see if Samsung Pay works here. Oh? Looks like we're good. Samsung Pay worked pretty flawlessly at Walmart. So, if you're ever here, you can definitely try it out. It looks like it worked.
Thank you for shopping at Walmart.
369. Scan your shopper's card, enter your alternate ID, or touch No Thanks. Thank you.
Need a new pair.
Your total is 14.52. System processing. Swipe or insert card and follow instructions on keypad. Remember to take your receipt. Thank you.
Grab something cheap that I actually need, so we'll go ahead and go to the checkout. See if this works. I don't.
567.
Okay.
Would you like a receipt?
Yes, please.
There you go.
Thank you. You too. Just gonna get another one of these. Alright, let's see what works.
CVS card.
Yes, I have it on here. I think.
$14. And a receipt. Thank you. I'm going. Hey, how you doing, Anthony? Thanks for waiting. Do you have this card you want to use? Total is $11.98.
Got a question on there. Yeah, 1069.
Okay.
Is that Apple Pay or Samsung?
Oh, you just do Samsung Pay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
Alright.
And your receipt, sir. Thank you. Have a nice day. You're welcome. Diana.
Okay, so that's actually really interesting. Usually when I try and use Samsung Pay to pay in a CVS, they're pretty dumbfounded because they know that their tap and pay reader's disabled, and I just hold it up to the credit card swiper and it works. But this guy actually knew that Samsung Pay worked. He's like, is that Samsung Pay? And I'm like, oh, you don't accept Apple Pay? And he's like, no, just Samsung Pay. So that's pretty cool. That shows that some progress has been made and people actually know how the service works and that it does work. So we'll try a few other places now. Alright, so now we're going to see if Samsung Pay works at the gas station. Alright, got my card loaded up here. Use my fingerprint. Alright, hold it up to the card reader. As you can see, nothing's happening on the screen. Try one more time. Okay, it doesn't look to work. For some reason, gas stations still don't support Samsung Pay. When you have these kind of card readers, it makes you insert your card. And anywhere that you have to insert your card, Samsung Pay doesn't work. So I guess I'll have to whip out my wallet for this one. Alright guys, so I just pulled up to the BP gas station, and the reason I'm not getting out of the car is because it already doesn't look too promising. So we'll just see from the car if it works. So as you can see here, this looks to be one of the credit card readers where you have to insert your card to make it work. So we're just going to go ahead and from the seat of our car, see if it'll even let me get going. So I've used my fingerprint to authenticate, and I'm going to hold it up to the reader here. And as expected, absolutely nothing happened. So this BP is a no-go. Let's go try and find another place. Alright guys, so here we are arriving at a nearby Shell gas station, and looking here, I'm not even going to bother. If you can kind of zoom in on that credit card reader there, it's the same kind where you insert your card, and so it shouldn't work. Now there is something interesting that I am going to try. What I read is that if you stick a card into the credit card reader just to make the credit card machine kind of recognize that a transaction's trying to go on, and then you try and use Samsung Pay with the card in there, it works. Now how beneficial that really is and why you randomly have a blank card on you, I'm not sure. But we'll go ahead and try it here just to see if it works. So I'm going to go ahead and get out the car, and we'll see if we can get gas from here doing that. So I'm just going to use my MoviePass card as something to stick in there. A card I don't really use too much except for movies. And so I'll put it in backwards here, and I'll activate Samsung Pay on my phone and see if this will recognize. Okay, it says please see cashier. So that didn't work. We'll try it one more time. Tap to retry. Maybe I'll hold this up first. Oh. It's not clearing. Alright, we'll give it a moment. So let's go ahead and try putting the card in and removing it as well with this already running. Oh. Okay, it said see cashier, so it looks like that's not going to work. So now we're at the ATM at Charlotte Metro Credit Union. This is my personal bank. So we're going to see if we can make a withdrawal from the ATM using Samsung Pay, as if we didn't have our credit card on us. So I'll go ahead, use my fingerprint, get it authenticated, and I'll hold it up to the credit card reader and see if it'll let me do anything. Alright, nothing's happening yet. Try a few different angles here. Alright, so it timed out. That was about 25 seconds. Nothing happened, it didn't work, and there's nowhere else on the ATM that tells you to use tap and pay. It doesn't support NFC, and Samsung Pay doesn't work with the credit card reader. So I'm just going to have to go ahead and use my actual debit card, but I'll go to a few different other ATMs with different banks and see if there's any that support it. Well, now we're at SunTrust Bank. This isn't my personal bank, but just for the sake of it, we're going to see if Samsung Pay will work here, and if we can make a withdrawal using Samsung Pay, using MST or NFC from this ATM reader. So let's go ahead and try it. Move it around to different angles. Nope, didn't work. And there's also nowhere else to put it. So it looks like that was a fail for here. And if you notice, it has the same type of reader where you have to insert the card. So we're gonna have to go to the next place. Alright guys, so now we're at Bank of America, arguably one of the most popular banks in the US. So you would think if anywhere is gonna support Samsung Pay, it's gonna probably be this bank. So we're gonna go ahead and try it. First we'll hold it up to the credit card reader, see if anything happens. There's a car behind us, so we won't take too long. Nothing worked, so let's restart it. And if you notice here, it actually says use mobile device here, contactless reader, and on the screen it did advertise they're supposed to support it. So let's try it out. And if you look at the screen, you see it says now select your language. Looks like it let us in. And I don't have a Bank of America card, so it didn't let me go further. But we can confirm that you can use NFC. You can use Samsung Pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay at Bank of America. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so now we're going to go to the Wells Fargo ATM. And we're going to see if Samsung Pay will work here. Just in case I didn't have my card, maybe I was in an emergency situation and I needed to make a withdrawal. We're going to see if it would allow me to do that. Oh, look at that. All right, first things we notice, of course, there's the credit card reader where you insert your card, but that's not going to work. But it actually advertises a PayPass type service, so it should accept Samsung Pay. So let's go ahead, swipe up for the card. We'll actually use the iris scanner, just for the sake of it. See how fast that was? All right, and then we'll hold it up here, confirm that that's not going to do anything. So we already know that if you have to insert your card, it doesn't work. And now let's try the patch. Well, that was immediate, and it definitely worked, but it wasn't a Wells Fargo card. I don't have this bank anymore, so it's not going to let me go past this point. But it actually works at Wells Fargo. So there's one other bank we can add to the list. We'll just get out of there, and we'll leave. Okay.
And you still want the tall one?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's $1.75.
All right. I just want to pay with the credit card.
Apple Pay, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, does it change the picture?
Decline. It didn't go through. Should I try it again?
Yep, let's try it one more time. Do you want the receipt?
No, thank you.
Alright, we'll get you right at the end of the bar.
Thank you.
you.
I'll get a jelly donut.
No, we don't.
Alright, is that gonna be it?
Yeah, that's all for me.
It's gonna be 118.
All right.
We don't have any more coffee.
Try to
Yeah, we have one. Okay, just one? That be all?
It's not working. It does support it, right?
The Samsung Pay?
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not really sure. I know we have Apple Pay, but I don't really know actually.
Okay. I'll try one more time, I guess.
Do we have Samsung Pay here, guys?
There we go.
Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. It worked. Yeah, it worked.
Interesting.
You want your receipt for that?
Yes, please.
Okay, here you go. You have a good day.
No sugar. No sugar.
Anything else?
That's it.
348. What happened?
There's a problem with their reader. Okay, so it wasn't just me.
No.
Okay, that's good to know. That's weird. Take it off the kids. Use your fingerprint or whatever you have to do? Yeah. Weird. Okay, so that was definitely interesting. I tried to use Samsung Pay. The first 2 times it completely failed. It tried to recognize it, but it just said that it failed. And then the third time that it recognized it, it went through. And then he tried to use Apple Pay right after, and it just wouldn't go through at all. So I can say that Samsung Pay does work at Dunkin' Donuts. It clearly supports it, so you won't have any issue with at least trying it there until it works. But I think that credit card reader was just maybe becoming faulty or something, because then he tried to use Apple Pay and it wouldn't even recognize it anymore. So I'm just going to blame it on the reader itself. But Samsung Pay definitely does work at Dunkin' Donuts. So if you have it, go ahead and try it. Can I just get a 4-piece chicken nugget? Do you have the spicy ones still? No. Okay, that's fine.
And what sauce do you want?
I'll get barbecue.
Alright, anything else for you?
That's all.
Alright, what's your name for your order?
It's going to be Mariano.
Mariano?
Yes.
Alright, so Marissa.
I'd like to try and pay with Samsung Pay. You just hold it up to the credit card reader? Okay.
I don't even know.
You like run it as credit and then you just hold the phone up to the credit card. Can I try it? I'm sorry?
The Amber. We have the Samsung Pay. The Samsung Pay. You don't have the card reader to hold it up.
Not able to do it? Okay, that's fine. Alright guys, so that was really interesting. I definitely tried my hardest to get the lady to take the phone and use Samsung Pay with it and try to make it work, but she kind of freaked out and she didn't know what I was trying to do, and she called for the manager and the manager said no. So actually, my friend here who's helping me record this video, he actually tried it a few years ago when he had a Galaxy Note around the time when Samsung Pay came out, and he just didn't ask. He activated Samsung Pay on his phone and he just reached his long arms around the counter and held his phone up to the swiper, and it actually went through. So I can confirm Samsung Pay may and did work at Wendy's if you were able to force your hand behind the counter, but there they weren't willing to let us try it. So in that case, I'm going to definitely have to mark that as a fail because they just may not allow you to even use it. So we're going to go ahead to another place, and shouts out to Jay Jensen. That one was for you, and it was definitely awkward, so I hope you appreciated that.
They just threw a Frosty on the ground.
Alright, so I'm actually still hungry. I only got nuggets from Wendy's, which I didn't really want. So we're going to try a place nearby. This is actually the Hardee's drive-thru, and we're going to see if Samsung Pay will work in the drive-thru and what happens.
Black on Hardee's, like that bacon cheeseburger.
No, thank you. Can I just get an apple turnover?
You want 1 or 2?
Just 1.
All right, 107.
Thank you. So Hardee's is actually expensive. I decided at the window I didn't really want to order any food from here. So we're just going to get an apple pie. That should hold me over. Now I have no idea what's going to happen here. They do have this weird credit card reader. Oh wait, they actually took it out. There used to be a little swiper right outside the window that nobody used, and it looks like they completely removed it. So I was going to see if that would work, but now we won't even know. We'll see what happens when I ask to try and pay with Samsung Pay just through the drive-thru window. And just a side note, if you did have a membership card at a store or a restaurant and you had it added, you could just hit that membership button. It would pull up a drop down here, and you just pick which one you want, and then it pulls up the barcode to scan. So that is pretty cool. So looking at the windows here, first thing I noticed is there's no stickers that say they support Apple Pay or Samsung Pay. So this should be really interesting, if not awkward. Hi. Hey, yeah, I wanted to pay with Samsung Pay. Just kind of hold the phone up there. Oh.
Sure, little thing, you push the right credit. I guess you just tap it on it.
Sure. All right. No way. It's actually not advertised, but they had it.
receipt in there. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.
you. Bye-bye.
Well, that's actually crazy. I did not see that one coming. I was almost sure this was going to be a fail. But as I asked to use Samsung Pay, I was expecting her to kind of freak out and be like, what do you mean? But she actually pulled out a special credit card reader that accepted tap and pay. It was like, here you go. So Hardee's supports Samsung Pay. Make a note of that. I don't know if everyone does, but that one definitely does. So that's pretty cool. So we're gonna go to another place now and see where it works. Fritos burrito. BT Fritos burrito. That's all.
BT Fritos burrito for your to go.
We'll be to go.
Coming in for your order?
Mariano. You don't do like Apple Pay here? Do you?
It has Samsung at my work. People have gotten their Samsung store.
Oh, cool.
Apple Pay doesn't work.
Right. Alright, so that was pretty cool. We went there, I asked her if they took Samsung Pay, just to see if she knew anything about it. And she actually said, we don't do Apple Pay, but we do Samsung Pay. So that was pretty simple. She already knew it would work. And apparently a few other people before me have already gone in there and tried it, and that's how she knew. So Samsung Pay does work at Taco Bell if they have the new credit card readers that aren't behind the counter. And those were relatively new. Alright, so now we're going to try the Taco Bell drive-thru. We already went inside and saw that it worked, but now I'm just curious, if we pull up to the drive-thru, we know they have the credit card readers, but will they let us try it? Hi, I'm doing good. I was just wanting to get a watermelon freeze.
Alright, 108.
Thank you. Oh, it's happy hour. That's nice. Alright, so we're going to come up to this window and see what they say. I'm going to ask them if I can use Samsung Pay, and hopefully they'll let me use it. Hi, good.
108.
I was wanting to pay with Samsung Pay. Do you accept like Apple Pay?
Let me see. I don't know how
Okay.
to pay.
Here we go again. I hope they don't get the same girl we got at the cash register, because that would be really awkward. So she's asking if I can try it. We'll see what happens. The fact that she's asking, maybe it's not the first time she's heard that question.
Okay, hold on, let me see.
Okay, so they're gonna try it. You just hold it up to it.
Like a phone?
Yeah.
You want to get payment cards or something?
Just, if you see on the card, you see that button? It's a little restart thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it timed out, so just tap that. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Oh. Just hold it up to it for a second. To the right a little more. Didn't work?
Hold on, but I'm new with this, so I've never done this.
No problem.
I want to get this
Oh, it
right.
timed out. Let me put it in. I'll try it one more time. You just hold it up like where the credit card swiper is.
Okay.
You, don't,
I got it.
you got it?
There you go. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Check that out.
There you go. All right. You have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
Alright, so that's pretty cool. They were actually willing to try it. It was a little, I guess you could say, awkward because obviously they've never really done it before. But hey, they were willing to try it and it ended up going through. Alright guys, so that's just about going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, found it informative. Really, to sum it up, Samsung Pay in 2018 is great. It works in most places. Anywhere you can kind of self-service, you have a credit card reader right in front of you, Samsung Pay is pretty much going to work all the time. With the exception of gas pumps, ATMs being a toss-up, any retail stores, convenience stores, and most fast food places, you're good to go with Samsung Pay. So that's really great to see. You could almost leave your wallet comfortably behind, or maybe, like I said, even a couple of years ago, throw a wallet case on your phone, put one credit card in there as a backup, and you'll be all set to just have your one phone, your one device for everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe, drop comments below with your feedback and what you want to see in the next video. I will be reading all of those comments just for that reason. So I hope you guys enjoyed it again, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.